I want to welcome you guys to the Cape Lookout Fly Fishing Club. This is the annual fly tying seminar. We're going to talk about tying one of the basic flies that you can catch most of the fish without. We're going to tie a clouser. Well, this is the very beginner section. I'm going to talk you through one of the most basic flies that you can use to catch fish here in the Crystal Coast. This is a fly called a clouser minnow. This has an eye on it. It floats, it sinks like this with the hook up. This is called a deceiver. This sinks with the hook down. There's no weight on the eye. But for the sake of starting out with something that's really straightforward and you can see it done to completion, this is a clouser minnow. We're going to start off with a 3407 hook, 34007 mustad hook, and we're going to tie an eye on it. We use a nylon line, flat wax nylon, to get the eye started. We leave a little space for the eye. You tie it. You get one of these eyes. These are little eyes. It's like a hourglass. You tie that on. A couple of taps around. Tie it secure. The eye is on. Now, that gives the fly the weight. That will cause it to float, sink with the hook up, the weight down. Okay, so that we're now going to be working on the belly of the fly first. Normally the belly of a fly is fairly light. So we're going to use a material. This is called bucktail. There's many artificial materials you could use too, but this is one. It's a bucktail. It's a material that comes from the tail of a deer. This is what it looks like from the deer. We use this as a material. It works good, but there's many artificial materials that work really well also. Cut it off a little bit. Add a little tiny drop of cement. Get it started on there. And wrap it on. This ties it on. Then we notice I'm going on the back side, tying very lightly, a little bit backwards. That keeps that belly material. This ties real secure. Add a little tiny, just a drop of cement, which keeps those fibers sealed on there. We're going to make this one white on the bottom and chartreuse on the top. Now, notice that the white is the belly, and this one it's chartreuse on the bottom and pink at the top. But we're going to put the white, a little bit of flash in there. This is called crystal flash. This gives a sparkle to the body of the fish so that when the sun rays hit it, it sparkles in the water. You've seen the little bait fish. And of course, when I'm trying to get this perfect, that has some of it's standing a little bit further back because that it gives it length to the fish and a little extra sparkle. Okay, now we're going to put another color of pink for the top. We'll keep this a simple two-tone. Roughly measure the length you want. Touch a little drop of glue. The glue is important because that's what keeps the fibers from coming undone when you're fishing. And the better we seal this, the longer the fly will last. Use what we call a little bodkin to separate this so that we get it equal on both sides of the fish hook. Get that separated, then I'll pull it back. Start to tie this down. So now you can see white, a little bit of pink, and I'm going to add a little bit of chartreuse on the very top. And then the last thing we'll do, because we know the back of the fish is a little bit darker than sides of the back. Here again, we'll separate this out so that it's nicely divided. Now the back of the fish is a little bit darker, so I'm going to take a little darker color, and I think gray is a great color. Put a little darker color on the very top. Get them roughly the right length. I know, Paul, you'll be doing this when you deploy over to Iraq shortly, won't you?
Certainly.
You be sure and take your fly tying kit.
Absolutely.
We're really proud of you guys. Noel, here's the Marines getting ready to deploy to Afghanistan. They, I believe it's their second or third tour each over there. This is the way we finish it off. We tie it off with what's called a Mattarelli whip fishing tool. Usually 2 or 3 turns. That puts a nice tight finish on it. Cut it off right next to the head. Now, one of the most important things we do is seal it with a head cement. This seals all the fibers, and I notice I seal it into the hair a little bit. I turn it over, I seal it really well on the top, seal it back to here. And the reason we do that is because when fish start to bite on that, they tend to chew up the head and the fibers come off and they're not cemented down. Now, what you have here is a basic Clouser minnow. Here's a different style. Here, you can even make a Clouser with rattles on it. That's what this one is right here. It's got little rattles. Clouser minnow as compared to a deceiver. Ken Schmidt, one of our good tires, ties them with the rattle on the back. That's a Clouser with a rattle. But here you are. Here's a fly for you to take over to Iraq, catch a fish over there, and here's one for you to take to Afghanistan to catch a fish over there, or at least practice doing that. And then, of course, there is a responsibility. You've got to let us know if you catch any fish, but mainly let us know how you're doing, and then be safe, come back, and then let's tie some more flies and catch some more fish together.
Thank you.
Great.